He's coming on a string. That is a big body brood of deer. I mean, look at that. That's ridiculous. That is exciting. Whew. That's what it's all about. This should be illegal. It's so much fun. Woo.
You know, if there's one day every year that's X'd off of my calendar, it's the Nebraska rifle deer season's opener. This year was extra special. I've got Tim Harold coming in, my longtime friend, and Koby Fulks from UnderArmour.
Now, there's a lot of great opportunities in Nebraska deer hunting, from being able to hunt the November rut with a rifle to being able to see a lot of deer, open country. But one of the best things that you can do, 2 bucks as an out-of-stater, over the counter, and they still have real quality deer.
Oh, hunting this time of year is great. I mean, you just get to see a lot of things that you normally wouldn't see. You're able to see for, you know, long distances, and you can glass deer from a long ways away. You learn if you have a good pair of binoculars or not.
We're about 80% open, 20% woods, which means we get to sit up with our glass and look around these big vistas and find deer. And in the pre-rut and rut, November, you find big buck after big buck.
He's not the one we want. He needs to grow another year. James, I know this is your place, but am I gonna have to sit here and watch you be super picky and pass up buck after buck after buck?
Eventually, hopefully, I'll get a chance to shoot one, but I don't have to get in a hurry. I've got the rifle season, the archery season, and the muzzleloader season to choose from in Nebraska. In the meantime, I just get to sit back and watch other guys have a ball, like Koby Fulks from UnderArmour.
I get great satisfaction out of you know, making apparel, you know, to make stuff for people to keep them warmer, or, you know, in the summertime to keep them cooler, to be able to come up with new ideas. I think the innovation comes from the warmth without weight, you know, being able to layer pieces and you can be much lighter and still be warm. To me, that's probably one of the biggest innovations.
They're all dressed up, ready to go. My grandfather always told me, you're only cold if you're not prepared.
Sometimes you think you have great ideas, and sometimes they don't always turn out, but you know, I love testing products. I love coming up with new ideas. You know, it also helps to love to hunt. That's, you know, and love to be outdoors.
Really nice deer, but I think, you know, it's going through quality deer management. I'll let him go. Let him get to be a 4.5-year-old. He'll have, you know, get a little wider, get a little thicker.
You know, there was deer all day long. You're almost interested because they keep coming in and out of the woods, and you keep seeing them. Does are getting chased by bucks, and it's a fun time of year. That peak of the rut, and they just keep moving all day long. You can almost see the size of the deer get smaller as they go because they've been running all day. It's just a great time to be sitting in the woods watching deer. Looks like we got three bucks out there. 3 nice bucks. The red one with the split G2s. The one they were talking about in camp. Oh, look at that one, the wide one though. Oh, he looks nice. He's a nice deer. Let's take a shot at him.
Bat.
206. Got him. All right, he's down in the grass. All right.
The Zone is brought to you by Brown Elms, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools. Thompson Center, Nikon, Blackhorn 209, DLC Covert Trail Cameras, UnderArmour, Lethal Human Scent Elimination, and Bill Jordan's Realtree. Family, friends, and the outdoors. This portion of The Zone is brought to you by GobbleNGrunt Outfitters.
Nebraska is a great state. I mean, we saw a lot of quality bucks. You know, I know everybody thinks about the Midwest there with Wisconsin, Illinois, you know, Kansas. You're seeing the same quality bucks here, and I think it's a little bit on the sleeper side. You know, people may not know the quality of bucks that are here, but we saw a lot of big deer, which I think goes to a good quality deer management program as well.
Look at that split too. Really split. A couple extras there. Nice. Nice. Good spread.
It's a nice buck.
It's so rangy in this open country. Their home range is much larger, I think, than anybody realizes. So, and that's cool.
Mid-November, rut there. They're all over the place.
The cool thing about Nebraska, you get to hunt the peak rut and see lots of neat stuff.
That is true.
Well, we sure appreciate you coming out here with us again. We always have fun with the UnderArmour crew, whether it's deer or turkey here at Gobble and Grunt.
Oh yeah, it's we keep coming back for more.
Since management is key at Gobble and Grunt, the summer's when we inventory our deer. We don't find out what deer we're going to take in November. In August, when those bucks are in velvet, they're in their bachelor groups, and they're coming into the mineral, that's when we find out just what we have.
Holy cow, look at that. I'd say we're in the right spot if we're looking for a big one. Every tree in here that's the right size to be rubbed is rubbed. And even some like this are just shredded big trees. It's just a matter of time when you're hunting a spot like this before you run into the guy that made that.
You know, Gobble and Grunt management is key. And we had a big old mature buck, 4x4. We had lots of trail cams of him, big bodied deer. You never know if you're gonna get a chance to take those deer out of the herd, but I explained him to Tim, showed him the trail cams and said, if you get a chance at this buck, take him out of the herd. We'll cut your first Nebraska tag and call that a management buck.
Hey, mid-November, deer in the rut, northern Nebraska. We've got a deer hunt morning today. It's right around 30 degrees, north wind. Deer are gonna be moving, I think, all day today. We know from the trail cameras that we've got 2 or 3 real good bucks that use this area, so hopefully one of them shows up. It's damp, it's nasty. Deer are already out in front of us. As it's getting daylight, we can see a couple little bucks out here. A few does. It's the kind of day you want a deer hunt in Nebraska. chasing pretty hard. I can hear him grunting from here. I'd like for him to get in there about 200 if possible. Just wait and see if he chases one of them over this way here. We just need those girls. Here we go. Come on. Come my way, girl. I'm gonna hit him with a grunt here and see if I can get him to come this way. He threw his head up. It'll be pretty hard to call him away from some toes. He's coming on the string. That is a big-bodied brute of a deer.
One of the tactics that works really well during that Nebraska rut is calling. And we had this certain buck that came out early in the morning. He was obviously the dominant deer around. But about 2.5 hours later, he popped right back out in the field. I hit him with a grunt call one more time.
Yeah, that's him. He's coming. Yeah, he's coming to that call. Oh, he's coming on a string. That is a big-bodied brute of a deer. He's coming. Too close. Just got a back view of him. If he goes any farther, I can't do it. You on him? Well, we've seen that deer from 600 yards to 10 yards today, and I had debated on whether or not I would shoot him, but he crossed the field, came up here on us about 200 yards, and I hit a grunt call, and he just came on a string. And the closer he got, the bigger his body was, and I could see he was a real good deer. He just got that one brow time missing, so he's not going to score great. But real good mature buck, beautiful 8-point frame. And he came down here. I mean, I'm watching him in the scope come from 100 to 70 to 50 to 30. And he gets under the box on us, and he walked by me here at 10 yards. I got to pull the gun in and get out, and he's passed us down here. We're trying to get everything shifted completely around, and then we've got a real nice mature buck. Great thing about Nebraska, 2 buck tags. Got a great mature one on the ground, and now I can hunt for a real big boy out here. Look at the body on this guy. Oh, look at the head and neck on that deer. That's what we thought he was, just a big heavy 8. He's got broken brow, which we knew, but good 2s and 3s. Huge, huge deer. I mean, look at that head and neck. Everybody thinks of Illinois and Iowa as having huge bodied deer, but you know, Nebraska's a crop state too, and this just shows you this is at least a 4.5-year-old buck, and he is just massive, huge body. Great hunt this morning, GobbleNGrunt Outfitters in Nebraska. That's what hunting the rut's all about.
And when Tim brought that management buck in, I was excited. I mean, this was a toad and a great one to take out of the herd too. Well, now with Koby tagged out, I think it's my turn to hit the woods. I'd say one of the biggest advantages I had to growing up in this open country in Nebraska as a kid, learning how to hunt deer, was the fact that I got to watch so many deer because it's so open. And when you get to do that at a distance with your spotting scope, you learn so much about deer's habits. I mean, you get to watch deer do what deer do, whether it's feeding trails, early summer type movement, pre-rut, rut, postseason. You get to see it all. You get to see it at a distance without spooking those deer, letting them know that you're there.
There's a nice buck at 246. That deer is going to be a dandy when he grows up. He's 4x5, probably about 126 or 8 right now. Good time length. Get a couple years on him, we'll be looking for him again.
You know, this is my own home turf here, and the guys give me all kinds of grief about passing all these bucks. But I know what we've got. I see the trail cams, I do the scouting. Hey, if I see the deer that I want, then I'll pull the trigger.
Closed captioning provided by Bog Pod, the sticks with the red grips. This portion of the zone is brought to you by the Magnum Hunt Club.
Lethal here. I got a little sweaty coming in.
You know, I get to go a lot of places and see a lot of different whitetail habitat, behavior, different times through the season. But one of the beauties of Nebraska is you get to go during the rut with a gun, and that's when the deer out there acting like deer should act. You get to see chasing and breeding and posturing by bucks and scraping and rubbing, kind of all the things that you hope and think of when you think deer hunting. So every time you go out, even if you don't see the buck that you want to harvest, you're probably going to have some good deer action, and it's just a lot of fun to be out there and watch that.
Rut is on. It's pretty fun to be able to sit back and watch a couple, 4.5-year-old, 140 plus bucks. There's a lot of big deer out here in Nebraska, and we're going to try to find one of the real big ones. Last morning, Nebraska, there's a big, non-typical deer out here. He's got a huge side. We've seen him 2 or 3 times. We're thinking about trying to get out of this box and make a short move and try to cut off maybe 100 yards and get a better shot. My little plan didn't work.
With the open country that we hunt in Nebraska, you get to see the deer, you get to know where they move, and the nice thing about it is you know where they're at, you know where they're coming, you know where they're going, you know where they're bedded. So all you got to do is make sure that you keep the wind in your favor all the time so that deer don't know you're hunting.
ago, you were a little too picky, huh? The way I remember it, when I left camp at the end of rifle season, you still hadn't filled the tag.
Well, I didn't, but you know what? Like I said, there's still the muzzleloader season. And I met up with Matt Buckingham from Brownells. We headed to Nebraska in December, and you're just gonna have to stay tuned next week to see how that turned out.
Yeah, that's a shooter for sure.
The Zone is brought to you by Firefly, Hunt the Wind, GobbleNGrunt Outfitters, Brownells, OutfittersRating.com, Rax Mineral, and the Magnum Hunt Club. Your adventure is our business.